Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Gaurachandraya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Gaurachandraya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Bhagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhobhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarani. We'll start your lecture. So we're reading from Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, verse number 19. Before I start, I want to thank Verusha Mataji for coming for Japa. She's the only person who kept her promise. She came, she chanted for a long time today. How did you feel?
Very good.
So you want to do it more often?
Yes.
Please do that and please encourage others also.
She is regularly coming.
I didn't see her yesterday and day before. Today I saw her. So I thought maybe it has something to do with yesterday's discussion.
But it was also encouraged yesterday's lecture.
Thank you. Spasiba. So we will talk about the theme of tapasya today and tomorrow. That is why we changed the verse number today. So today we are reading from Canto 3, chapter 12, verse 19. Everybody has the verse. Tapasaiva param jyotir
Divyam param jyotir
Bhagavantam adhokshajam Sarva bhuta guhavasam Anjasa vindate puman Tapasaiva param jyotir
tapasaiva param jyoti
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta govavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman
Tapasaiva param jyoti
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman
Tapasaiva param jyoti
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman Tapasaiva param jyotir
Tapasaiva param jyoti
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman
Vaishnavis.
Mataji, Vaishnavi.
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Tapasaiva param jyotir
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Bhagavantam adhokshajam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Sarva bhuta guhavasam
Anjasa vindate puman
Anjasa vindate puman Tapasaiva param jyotir Bhagavantam adhokshajam Sarva bhuta guhavasam Anjasa vindate puman.
Word by word meaning, translation and purport. Shloka?
3:12:19.
I am asking, you read in Bhagavad Gita, it is said common mass of people follow the path shown by an authority. You just read that line.
Yes.
What is that shloka in Bhagavad Gita that shows this? You ask them the question.
Окей. Вот только...
Обычных люди следуют за тем, что делают великие вещи.
Да. Да.
Yadyad acharati shreshta tattat deva itarojana sa yat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. So this means that if people who are shreshtas, they perform a certain activity, shreshta means authority, the mass of people will follow them. So that is why Srila Prabhupada said, hunt for the rhinoceros. So if you preach to the big people, by their inspiration, normal people will also connect. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So here, in this verse, Lord Brahma is advising his son, Rudra, to perform tapasya. How do we know that the word tapasya or the word tapa is most important for this whole creation?
Как я Брахма туда в океан нырнул, он это слово от Вишну слышал. Тапа.
Yes, the very first words spoken in creation by the Supreme Lord to Brahma are tapa. Elsewhere in Bhagavatam 5th canto, 5th chapter, first around the beginning, Lord Rishabdev tells his sons, headed by Bharat Maharaj. We will discuss this shloka tomorrow. Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhayet yasmat brahmasokyam tvanantam. You have to perform tapasya so that you get brahmasokyam. Brahmasokyam means the ultimate transcendental bliss. So here, Brahma, after starting the creation, first created the 4 Kumaras. Please remember that to start any activity there should be tapasya. Before starting the Gaudiya Math, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada must have chanted at least 100 crore, 1 billion names. Srila Prabhupada himself used to pray before Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir and in Advaitacharya's temple. To perform any great activity, material or spiritual, tapasya is required. Can you give me an example of material tapasya?
Кто-нибудь?
Ну, спортсмены,
Sport people?
Yeah, they
Trainers?
run marathon 42 kilometers
Например,
or 100 meters sprint in 10 seconds or trying to jump a pole vault 5 meters.
или,
You don't know if the pole breaks and fall. You don't know if the pole breaks and you will fall.
это
Or you are doing balancing beam in gymnastics. People fall and break parts of their body. Many of you are sitting here and listening to a lecture from someone. There are hundreds of motivation speakers in this world. Many of them talk about all kind of nonsense, nothing to do with anything that is constructive. People still listen, even if they like it or not. People listen to politicians giving election speeches. Nikita Khrushchev said that a politician is somebody who gives a promise to build a bridge even when there is no river. Chanakya Pandit said, never trust a politician. Still people vote for politicians across the world. They tolerate them for at least 5 years. Then they tolerate the next politician for the next 5 years. Hiranyakashipu also did tapasya. But what for?
to be immortal.
So he did tapasya to please a person and become immortal, but that person himself was not immortal. So we don't know why we should do tapasya, we don't know for whom we should do tapasya. People get up at 4 o'clock and go jogging. People take a train at 3 a.m. in the morning to go to a different city to start working every day. In Mumbai, there are trains. People get into the train early morning, 4 o'clock. The Matajis, they take vegetables to cut for dinner. Many times the children are sleeping when the father is leaving the house, and they would have slept when he comes back at night. So Saturday, Sunday, they ask, Mummy, who's his uncle?
Yeah.
So, tapasya is there everywhere. So in this shloka, we heard that tapasyeva param jyotir bhagavantam adhokshajam, which means adhokshaja, the Supreme Lord, He is the Supreme Absolute Truth. He cannot be perceived by our own sense perception. So non-devotees must also undergo material hardships, some kind of tapasya, because they commit sinful fruitive activities. Why do they have the desire to commit sinful activities?
Ignorance.
Very good.
Mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance.
Mode of ignorance, just basically ignorance, avidya, because of avidya. So there are prarabdha and aprarabdha karmas. There are 3 types of sinful actions: pataka, mahapataka and atipataka. Not discuss it today. And the reactions to these activities are of 2 types: prarabdha and aprarabdha. Prarabdha means the reactions, sinful reactions from which one is suffering at the present. Which is the best example of prarabdha? Which is the most correct representation of prarabdha? Human body.
Body.
It's a human body. Human body is the prarabdha. It is a karmani yastindra gopa madhavendra moho swakarma bandha anurupa phala bhajana matunoti. You chant Brahma Samhita in altar? Ganga Prematavi?
Some mantras, but not always.
Yastvindra Gopa Madhavendra Moho Swakarma Bandha Anurupa Phala Bhajana Matunoti. From Indra Gopa, the small insect, till Indra, they have to get a body based on their karma. Swakarma bandha anurupa. According to their activities, they get a body.
То есть
So this is prarabdha. Aprarabdha means sinful reactions which have not yet fructified. There are other subtle parts of karmic reaction also. Bija, kuta, etc.
биджа.
So because of prarabdha, we may take birth in a low family or maybe suffering from other miseries. So, Mataji's name is Barusha.
Фируза.
Firoza.
Фируза.
Firoza Mataji, did you get up in the past also in the morning before coming to ISKCON? Before ISKCON also you used to get up in the morning?
My work was connected that I should get up at 3:30 in the morning.
So then also you used to get up at 3:30, now also you're getting up early. What is the difference?
Before it was, I forced it for myself to get up early. Now it's easier. My eyes open it by themselves at 4 a.m.
Why?
Easier, because I have a pleasure and I want to do that.
Nobody will do anything unless they are happy.
Nobody.
Do anything unless they are happy doing it. People sit in Bhagavatam class. Some people sit, some people don't sit. Even in the temple. Why?
В прошлой жизни это, наверное, вышло.
Maybe last births, last lives. They, for them, more interested place than here. They have more interesting things to do.
Yeah, so they don't have a taste for hearing Krishna Katha. Or they have got taste for something else.
Или у них есть
Shurshaya Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. It should come. By serving devotees, we will develop taste for hearing Bhagavatam.
То есть
So there is tapasya everywhere, material world or spiritual world. Speculators also, mental speculators, they also undergo great labor to understand this material world. What is sinful activity, what is pious activity.
То есть
But as per the Bhagavatam, those who are not situated in devotion service, they are prone to committing material activities. So if one becomes attached to devotional service, his desires for material enjoyment are automatically vanquished.
तो
Bhakti pareshanubhava viraktiranyatra sya trisheka kalahi prapadyamana sedhasnata tushtim pushtim shutapayo vigrasam. Jai Sri Sri Garunathai ki, Jai Sri Sri Narasimha Bhagavan ki. So when we perform devotional service, it is compared to eating food. When we eat food, three things happen. You get satisfied, happy, that is called tushti. Physically nourished, that is called pushti.
вы физически
But
тушите.
what is the main reason you are eating?
Energy strong.
That we already said. So what is the actual reason?
Hungry. We are hungry.
We are hungry.
Да.
So the third thing we eat is kshutapa, which means cessation of hunger or completion of fulfillment of hunger. Similarly, when we perform bhakti, three results happen. When we do bhakti, we have a natural joy of performing bhakti. Whatever be the amount of austerity, we are all getting some pleasure. Otherwise, nobody will do it. In English, there is a saying, a man convinced against his opinion, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
I cannot translate that.
A man convinced against his will.
I said, so the man who is against his will, his wish.
Convinced, who is convinced against his will. A man who is convinced by somebody against his will. You want to do something, I am telling you don't do it. That means I am trying to convince you against your will. He is of the same opinion still. Whatever you say, he will finally do what he wants. For all of us, whether we are 1 year in ISKCON or 10 years in ISKCON or 20 years in ISKCON or 30 years in ISKCON, all of us are doing bhakti because we like bhakti. Something about bhakti.
То есть
Somebody,
все
yeah.
еще.
Somebody likes deities, somebody likes kirtan,
Кто-то любит,
somebody likes devotee association, somebody loves prasadam.
кто-то любит.
So, bhakti is one reason. One result of bhakti is the activities of bhakti.
И один-
But there is also pareshanubhava, which means perception of the higher truth. Like you are praying to Gaurnitai and some flower falls. You are meditating, you are thinking of some devotee and suddenly that devotee comes that day. We all have little miracles in our life.
У нас у всех есть небольшие чудеса в нашей жизни.
More than anything, when we are performing bhakti, we feel some kind of reciprocation from Krishna.
И когда
Da nyat nyat da. Bhakti pareshanubhava. And the third thing is virakti. Virakti means you feel some kind of renunciation, which means bhakti is like tushti, which means you are happy doing it. You eat food, you are satisfied. You do bhakti, you are satisfied.
вы
Pareshanubhava is our feelings that we get in our relationship with Krishna that makes us feel nourished. So that is called pushti.
это
It is like pushti,
как
nourishment.
пушти. То есть
You eat food, you get nourishment.
вы,
You get a response from Krishna, you feel nourished in bhakti.
вы
But the third part is kshutapa, which means hunger is finished.
И третье это то, что заканчивается голод.
Similarly, we develop a distaste for material activities.
Distaste.
Distaste, D-I-S-T-A-S-T-E. How many of you used to eat meat in the past?
Сколько?
How many of you want to eat meat now? Why? You develop higher taste.
Потому что
So because you developed a higher taste, you have developed a distaste for something that is lower. So that is virakti.
Yeah.
Virakti is a symptom of bhava, very advanced level of bhakti.
и
But even if we have not reached bhava, we all might experience some indications or symptoms. Therefore, we feel some amount of virakti for material activities.
поэтому
So, when somebody is advancing in bhakti, one develops simultaneously some distaste for activities that are not favorable to bhakti. Therefore, Lord Brahma tells Rudra, Tapa atishta bhadram te. Because you better situate yourself in penance, which is auspicious for all living entities. So this will be auspicious for all living entities
это будет
and will also bring benediction upon you. Similarly, when we do tapasya, it benefits us and it benefits others. So in Smriti Shastra, tapasya is explained like this. Manasas chendriyanam cha aikagryam paramam tapaha. Complete control of the mind and senses and their complete concentration on one kind of activity is called tapaha. So Srila Prabhupada says that our Krishna consciousness movement is teaching people how to concentrate the mind on devotional service.
Yes.
Prabhupada says this is first class tapa.
и
So in Bhakti Marga or devotional service, one must strictly follow the regulative principles. And it starts where?
танг, шраван, танг, шраван,
Языка.
танг, of tongue, tongue.
Correct.
Okay.
By tapasya of the tongue. Sevon mukhed jikhvado swayameva spuratyata. So by controlling the tendency of the tongue to taste various kinds of food,
То есть
by making it taste only Krishna Prasadam,
и
I
поэтому
know it's going to be 9 o'clock, but I should not be
И это будет
starting
9
this
часов.
topic. Krishna Prasadam, 9 o'clock means Krishna Prasadam. But at the same time, what is the first thing in devotional service according to Rupa Goswami in Updeshamrita?
и говорите, он упоминает.
Вращение языка,
Yeah. First verse, it's controlling tongue and your
Yeah, Vachovegam, first word. First word is Vachovegam. If we control our tendency to speak,
То есть
which means not being silent,
это не
but to use the tongue only to speak about Krishna. Because the fourth canto says that only Krishna and his activities are real, everything else is illusion. Therefore, we should use our tongue to only talk about Krishna and his name, his form, his qualities, his pastimes. Tomorrow we will discuss from the Bhagavad Gita also austerity of the body, speech and the mind. But we must remember that in Krishna consciousness, for us one important tapasya is to use the tongue to only talk about Krishna, which means we should not use our tongue to find fault with others, criticize others, correct others unless we have the authority. Even if we have the authority, we should have a relationship.
даже
Even if we have the relationship, we should not be envious. First connect, then correct.
значит,
Repeat after me. First connect,
first connect,
then correct.
then correct.
First connect,
First connect,
then correct.
then correct.
Without any relationship, you cannot correct people.
Если
Because bhakti, the root of bhakti is sadhu sangha. Krishna bhakti janma mula hoy sadhu sang, Mahaprabhu says. Bhaktistu bhagavat bhakta sangena parijayate. Bhakti comes from bhaktas. But what disturbs our relationship with bhaktas?
и что?
What?
Envy,
Envy. Because of envy, what do we do?
criticizing,
Criticizing what else? Aparada. There are 6 types of aparada. Hanti, nindati, nadeshti, nobinandati, naharshati, krutyate. Many things. You are not happy looking at a Vaishnava. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Somebody looks at you and says, Hare Krishna. And there is a old secret police used to be like that. You cannot. There was one famous, there is one ISKCON Acharya. Now he is not in ISKCON. He used to say, I crack my best joke in Moscow and nobody laughs. So they are used to being very grave, like that.
Yes.
But when you come to bhakti, if somebody looks at you, you should feel happy. You see a devotee, you should feel happy.
и в бхакти,
Even if you are not happy, you should at least try to be happy.
ну да,
This is tapasya, not like air hostesses. To say, good morning, good evening, assalamu alaikum. Everything they'll say, they smile. Like I came to Uzbek Airways, they said, assalamu alaikum.
то есть,
Jai Shri Jagannath ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Narasimha ki jai.
she was also,
Oh, you're an air hostess, huh? Okay. So they say assalamu alaikum. So I also said, walaikum assalam. So I also said,
it was saying,
walaikum assalam.
she's saying, it was saying, it was like, it's your job to do that.
Part of the job. But just imagine, just because somebody is paying you some money, you are trying to look happy.
Ну вот,
But if your very existence depends on your relationship with devotees, why should you not be happy? So Srila Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj says that whoever you meet in Krishna consciousness, please understand that your advancement or progress in Krishna consciousness depends on your relationship with that person. So the first tapasya we should all start in ISKCON Tashkent is to ensure that at least once a week we sit with the devotees and chant together. Both of you come for Mangalarti every day. Will you be happy if more devotees come and chant together with us?
будет,
Yes, yes.
So we will be happy in taking energy from each other. So even if there is some little anxiety, how will I manage the day? What will I do? Will I feel sleepy?
то есть,
If you have 2 o'clock flight in the morning, you will go. This is the flight to Vaikuntha. Mangalarti and Japa is a flight to Vaikuntha.
то есть,
So try and come every day or at least once a week.
старайтесь,
Welcome on board Vaikuntha aeroplane.
добро,
You may please be seated, fasten your Japa belts.
пожалуйста,
Sit erect, don't relax,
Пож-
and chant attentively.
И,
First austerity for us.
и,
And along with that, the austerity of tolerating each other.
и также,
Even if we cannot love each other,
даже,
at least start tolerating each other.
значит,
One devotee wrote a complaint to Srila Prabhupada.
I-
Person is giving me lot of disturbance. How can I tolerate him? Prabhupada said, tolerate him like I tolerate you.
и он сказал,
Therefore, let us at least tolerate each other and tolerate the pushings of the mind and start with this first austerity of a very good morning program.
и, значит,
Srila Prabhupada said, even if you're dying, crawl to Mangalarati. And Gauranita are right here.
и так,
We may have deities at home.
мы мо-
We may even have a whole family of devotees.
мы-
But this is a house Prabhupada built
но
for Tashkent citizens.
для,
So please make it a program to come once at least a week.
поэтому,
I'm sorry for repeatedly begging this.
я прошу,
Beggar's job is to beg. So see you for Mangalarti tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki.
да,
And we will continue the series of austerity tomorrow.
is that, is, question?
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much.
Вот. Я сразу могу сказать, что я не смогу приходить, но я буду утром делать,
Ай.
потому что я далеко живу.
I'm immediately saying that I cannot come because I'm locating far from here.
I am leaving for Delhi tomorrow. I'm not going to check anyway. It is between you and Gaurnatai. How badly can you manage once a week Mangalarti?
Как?
Not once a week Mangalarti, at least once a week Japa.
Но у меня вопрос. Вот вы говорите аскеза, и человек становится счастливым, добрым, дружелюбным. А вот я слышала, что аскеза, она, ну, для матушки, она ожесточает сердце.
You said that austerity is you doing your heart more friendly and more kind, but I heard that austerity is doing you like a more hard, more hot, like a you more like a stone.
Well, that's the point. When you say authority, you should be an authority of humility.
То
You
есть,
should be an authority. You should be the subject matter expert in humility. Authority means a subject matter expert.
То есть это аскеза для того, чтобы смирение развить. как
so this authority for developing humility.
Any position in Krishna consciousness is as a servant. We are not leaders, we are servant leaders.
Мы не-
Как тогда уберечь себя от того, что ну, вот я, например, совершаю аскезу, смирение, а вот он не совершает.
То есть другой, да?
Ну да.
То есть how to save you that I'm doing austerities for the humility, but others do not do that for.
Humility, your humility does not depend on others practicing humility. In fact, your humility is tested when others are not humble. Therefore, the leader, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj told one of the temple presidents in USA, said that you are senior, therefore you should bend. There is a difference between material management and spiritual management. In material management, you may draw authority from power. People don't remember Srila Prabhupada because he was a controlling authority. People remember him for the compassion, the kindness, and the humility. So when we are authority, the whole point is we should be able to correct people by our personal example and when we have a personal relationship with the person. Srila Prabhupada gives an example of the newly married girl being corrected by the mother-in-law through her own daughter. Why? Because there is a relationship between mother and daughter. You may convince somebody mentally, but the relationship will be position to position, not heart to heart. Authority, you are subordinate, position to position, but it will not be heart to heart.
Да. Можно ли сказать, что вот здесь в стихе написано, что вот эти вот только совершая аскезы, можно приблизиться к Господу. То есть здесь имеется в виду усилие, да?
So here in the verse saying that only by austerities you can come to the Krishna
тогда милость.
So it should be, then it should be like an endeavor or efforts to do.
Tapasyeva param jyoti Bhagavan. You can please the Supreme Lord by your tapasya, but we must understand that Krishna is not attracted to your tapasya. It is the insect is knocking at the window. You feel compassionate and open the window. It is not because the insect is knocking that you open the window. You decided to open the window so that the insect can escape. The insect knocking will not open the window. Similarly, our tapasya will not get us Krishna. The consciousness behind our tapasya will attract Krishna. If the only goal is like Veera Raghavacharya says, that one should fast on important days. Even politicians do fast. When we fast on days which are dear to Krishna, Madhava Titi Bhakati Janani. Therefore, Jatane Palana Kori. Therefore, Jatane Palana Kori. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, try to observe Ekadashi. So we are not doing Ekadashi because we want to be tapasvis. We are doing Ekadashi because it pleases Krishna. So it is not like by tapasya adhokshaja can be attained, but when adhokshaja sees that we are doing tapasya, he may decide to reveal himself. He is Swarat. He can do what he wants. Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls him transcendental autocrat. Yes, Mataji.
Хотел спросить, итак, Господь Брахма услышал слово «тапа».
Lord Brahma
performed tapasya.
В чем? В принятии ситуации, что он испугался, что он не понял, и потом появился Господь. В чем заключалась его тапасya?
So he heard word tapa, and what was his role, what to do. So he was scared, and to do what his was role in that place, to do tapasya.
When he, first of all, when he came to consciousness, it was all bewildering. There was all waters of inundation. There were heavy breeze flowing, and he could see the lotus, the stem of which had the 14 planetary systems. So he went through that stem and he could not find anything. And he was completely bewildered. He had no idea. But then, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikave, then in his heart he heard the word tapa. So he understood that since I heard his voice from somebody here is there before me and he is superior to me and he is telling me what to do. I cannot see that person, but he can see me, so he is superior. So he understood that it is an instruction and he did it. This is partly from Rishi Kumara Samhita. Rishi Kumara Samhita, I wrote. Philosophical speculation partly philosophical speculation, partly Shastra. Indriyani parani ahur indriyabhya paromana manasastu paropadir yobhute paratasasa. Above the inert matter is the senses. Above the senses is the mind. Above the mind is the intelligence. Above the intelligence is we, the soul. So if somebody tells us what to do, then that person must be above us. Hence proved. Hence proved.
Это как раз тот самый момент, когда Нарада Муни, Нарада, сын Брахмы, он увидел, что он думал, что папа его, отец, это самая возвышенная личность здесь. А когда он увидел, что тот кого-то молится, он удивился, ты что, еще кто-то?
Same as Narada Muni, like he saw that his father Brahma is most powerful in the universe, and then when he saw that he is praying for somebody, he saw somebody more than stronger than you. May I ask another question?
Yeah, sure. Unless somebody else has any other question. Anybody else? Yes, Nirmala Mataji.
Скажите, пожалуйста, вот если благочестивый человек, вот во всем благочестивый, в семье, там, в общении, в отношениях, он же тоже милость Кришны получает. Так чья лучше, чье положение получается лучше? Человек, который полон грехов и занимается картопатией, или человек, который от рождения уже благочестивый, но он как-то делает пожертвования иногда, может быть, положение лучше?
What is the position of what is the better position of two persons? One person is pious from the birth, and he is doing good things. He is doing the sacrifices and give some donations. Or the second person is very sinful, but doing tapasya, because it's also good when you are pious and you also can have Krishna's mercy.
In Krishna consciousness, we are not just worried about the activity.
So,
We are worried about the consciousness behind the activity.
мы-
If the person performing charity and acts of goodness, which means he is attached to name, fame, profit, adoration. And on the other hand, another person is performing austerity, but for the purpose of attaining Krishna consciousness. He may have many sinful habits. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhag. Ananya bhag meaning he will worship only Krishna. Sadhu eva samantav. You have to consider him definitely as a sadhu. But if your austerity is not for the pleasure of Krishna, or your charity is not for the sake of Krishna, there is nothing much to choose between the two of them. We gave the shloka on the first day.
мы
Bhagavat bhakti hinasya jati shastram japa tapa apranasya eva dehasya mandanam lokaranjanam. Without devotion, somebody may talk about maintaining righteousness in scripture, trying to chant, or tapasya. The word is there, tapa. Jati shastram japas tapa. What is it called? Apranasyeva dehasya mandanam. It is decorating a dead body. So the purpose is the consciousness behind the activity.
и
Like we say, as much sugar you put, it becomes that much sweet. As much consciousness which is pure for the pleasure of Krishna, that much pure the activity becomes. Tapasya means voluntarily accepting some difficulty.
тапа-
Prabhupada mentions in 13th chapter, 8th to 12th verse. He says that tapasya, he also talks about stairyam, atma vinigraha, controlling the senses and the mind. We will talk about tomorrow. But if the purpose of trying to control the mind and senses is to merge with the Brahma Jyoti or to get siddhis, then it is as good as decorating a dead body.
это так.
Similarly, if somebody is performing pious activities but for the purpose of attaining Krishna, then he is definitely making progress. Krishna says in the Gita, 3 activities should not be sacrificed. What are the 3?
Dana, tapa.
Yajna, Dana, Tapa. They should be done by everyone because it purifies even the great souls. Pavanani Manishinam. It purifies even the great souls. So you have to perform tapasya. You have to give dana, but only for Krishna
Not the
or for Krishna's devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki.
ja.
Yeah. She had a second question also, both of you same question. Okay, ask.
Спасибо большое. Дело в том, что теряя тапасию, мы можем возгордиться.
When we are doing tapasya, we can be more proud of tapasya.
Но сейчас как раз Михаил сказал, что если, чтобы не возгордиться, надо осознавать, для чего мы делаем это. Надо посвящать ее Господу. Но если нет этого осознания, как быть человеку? Вот человек не понимает, он думает, что он делает, ну, будет задать, да, вопрос, что он думает, что он делает для Кришны, а на самом деле он возгордается.
You talk about the consciousness. What if the person do not know about do not have this consciousness to do it for Krishna? So, is that okay or?
What
If he-
what
for-
activity is he doing?
For themselves, for
But what
himself.
activity is he doing right
И
now?
какая деятельность он сейчас делает?
Нет, он тапасию, он берет просто
Какую тапасию?
добровольные аскезы. Он приходит на служение,
Voluntarily coming to the temple,
преодолевает.
he's trying to do something.
Chaturvida bhajantayamam jana sukritina arjuna artha jijnasura artharthi jnani jabardarshava. 4 types of pious people come to Krishna. But they become devotees only by association of Ganga Prematari or other devotees.
No, it is the
Devotional Sangha makes them devotees. Otherwise they are just Sukriti. They are making some progress. Krishna, what to speak about these people coming to the temple? Krishna talks about even the impersonalists. In 12th chapter he says, Te prapnuyanti mamaiva sarvabhuta hiterata. They will eventually attain me. That is how merciful Krishna is.
Hare.
Харе Кришна, мог бы Прабху ответить на вопрос, который я задавала, почему восьмоописание называется Сварачами?
May you answer regarding that question 3 days or 2 days ago regarding
8th canto.
8th canto, yes.
So 8th canto talks about at least 6 manus, which means so many manvantras. And though it is not compulsory, every time the manu changes, many times there are dissolutions. Every time the manu changes, though it is not compulsory, there is withdrawal of creation and a new creation happens. It's not compulsory, but it happens. Like Satyavrata Muni, Swayambhuva Manu, Satyavrata Muni, there is Pralaya, Matsya Avatar comes. That is so, that means cosmic manifestation is withdrawn and it is released again. But if you study the chapter, there is mostly mention of many avatars about churning of the Milky Ocean, Vamanadev, Gajendra Moksha. So the only explanation is that because it contains so many manvantaras and the change of manus, there is a withdrawal of cosmic creation. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur doesn't talk about it. I have to still find out if Sridhar Swami or Jiva Goswami has said something about it. Yeah.
Ну, это, в общем, говорится о ману. Здесь же о ману говорится.
In general,
Когда один ману сменяется другой.
It is not a rule.
so generally there is talking about manas that are changing.
Yeah. But there is no rule that after every change there should be a pralaya. There is no rule. So that is why we have to see what other acharyas are saying. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur doesn't talk about it. Prabhupada doesn't talk about it. Now we have to check other acharyas. Or Gandharvi Mataji has to write commentary.
Я слышала, что
Okay.
Какой вопрос был еще раз? Я задумалась о пролае.
А пралая, но...
Нет, про вопрос, почему, как меняются ману, да?
Не почему называется.
Я говорю, это, наверное,
Сварачка.
он сказал, что каждый ману, когда меняется, не обязательно
Пролая.
пролая.
Я, например, сразу подумала, наверное, происходит пролая.
А Прабху сказал, что не обязательно.
Да, я уже слышала, что Шри Прабхупада об этом сказал, и Вишванат Чакраварти Тхакур тоже об этом. И Прабху сказал, что он будет искать.
Prabhu wanted to again repeat that have a Trishu, a Krishna, have a Kama for Rama.
Okay. We should have Trishna only for Krishna.
We should have Trishna only for Krishna.
We should have Kama only for Rama.
Only for Rama. Харибол. Даже свет выключился. Thank you very much.
So tomorrow also we'll have Bhagavatam class. We will continue your tapasya. Your tapasya.
May I ask another question?
Уже сказали, что
Okay.
Да, все так. Завтра.